On this day, I was accompanying men on their rounds to search for my father. It'd been a while. Between the Shinsengumi being tasked with guarding Nijo Castle and Sakamoto's arrival, so many hectic things were happening. However, we finally had a reprieve from it all, giving us the opportunity to search for any clues leading me to my father and me into the world. Even though I should have been focused on looking for clues, my head was stuck on Sakamoto's words.
別に詫びる必要はないき。あの土方いう男の勘は外れちゃあせん。俺は新選組の敵やきにゃ。
It was scary to think about how many people stand in opposition to the Shinsengumi. Although the men often keep stories of their daily hardships to themselves, it's clear that the constant toil of battle was wearing them down. Even during the Battle of the Ikeda Inn and the Hamaguri Rebellion, many men were injured and they were faced with 3 deadly foes. Since fate brought us together, and now that I stay with the Shinsengumi men, I owe it to them to stay as much out of their way as I can. My mind wandered yet again, and I noticed that the troop was several steps ahead, and I needed to catch up in line with them. I tried running after them. I couldn't help thinking I was being watched, though, so I instinctively turned around.
気づいたか。さほど鈍いというわけでもないようだな。
Oh no! Seemingly out of nowhere, a man stood behind me and stared down at me intently. I was wondering where the fuck you went, bitch! His cold gaze froze me, and while cowering, I stitched together my memories, trying to recall where I've heard his name or seen his profile. His name is Chikage Kazuma. He is said to be affiliated with both the Satsuma and the Choshu, and he was the Shinsengumi's enemy at Ikeda and the Hamaguri Rebellion. He was accompanied by 2 other figures. It was Kyujo Amagiri and Kyo Shiranui, his usual band of cronies who stood proudly behind him. What are they doing here? I have to call the men of the Shinsengumi. However, Kazuma's intense glare made it difficult to speak, let alone scream for help. Actually, at this point, who are we on rounds with? I guess we'll find out. I felt as though I might crumble to my feet. Among the 3 stood the tallest man, Amagiri, who began speaking to me.
我々はある目的のためにここに来た。君を探していたのです。
Huh? My heart dropped like a massive stone. Why do these men know my name? I don't understand what you guys are talking about. Are you playing some kind of joke on me?
多くは語らん。鬼を示す生徒、東の鬼が持つ子たち。証拠としては十分です。
My family name? What was wrong with Yukimura? I didn't understand what he meant, and I felt beads of sweat dripping down my spine. Darkness itself is coming for me.
言っておくが、お前を連れて行くのに同意などいらん。女鬼は貴重だ。共に来い。
His hand stretched out, pale and grasping like the tentacle of some hideous subterranean monster. Oh, there's that line again. No, I won't go with you! The pit of my stomach sank, and all I could muster was a pathetic attempt at rejecting him. Kazuma appeared to hesitate for a moment, but the moment soon passed, and he aggressively reached for me once more. No! Don't! I won't go anywhere! In that instant, Kazuma's hand was blocked by Shiranui's hand.
Hey, hey, 待てって。お姫さんはここに残るっつってんだろ。
風間、そこまでです。
They have never done this before. Huh? Just like Shiranui, Amagiri had also reached his hand to grab out Kazuma by the arm. The interruption of their parries greatly annoyed Kazuma, whose seething contempt was palpable. He sighed, withdrawing his hand to his side.
近いうちに迎えに行く。楽しみに待っているがいい。
What? Then he and the rest of his followers vanished back into the crawling masses. Like ghosts, they disappeared in an instant, almost as if they melted into nothingness. Come for me? But why would they come for me? Why are those people after me? I frantically searched for them amongst the crowds, but they were nowhere to be seen. It was almost as if I imagined them next to me, but now they were gone, at least physically, as I felt haunted by their brief appearance. Was this a dream? An illusion? It couldn't be. My hands still trembled. Before I knew it, dusk settled in the amber sky. I peeked into the streets and its crevices, engulfed in fear amidst the creeping darkness.
どうかしたのか?
Oi, Harada? Harada's voice snagged my cautious ear, and I was snapped back to reality. なんでもない。
そうか。ならいいんだが。
Harada returned to look for me and was concerned that I became separated from the troop. Sorry. I found a man who looked like my father. I instinctively gave him a white lie. Maybe it was because I didn't want him to worry about me any more than he already did, since the men should focus on any troubles they find. Harada chuckled unsettlingly, and he reminded me not to stray too far from the lines. I bowed out of apology and ran after him. Watching the night descend into the patches of darkness atop buildings left me thinking. Was the encounter I had with those three men certain that actually occurred? One thing, however, was for certain. They were after me. Fearful thoughts kept trickling in my head, and I ran after Harada, scared of what's to come. June! Where's my water? I found it. June 1864. Is this the medical exams? Yeah, because we have an angry Ito coming our way. And now we get to do Skippy Skip. Anyway, oh, we say yes, please. Apparently. Right. Yamazaki, please get the good doctor for us. We have some things to discuss. Especially about the whereabouts of my father. Please. I could just see Okita and Matsumoto-sensei outside, walking off somewhere together. Where could they be going, I wondered. I think... Yep, it's not any of my business. I was worried for Okita, but... he'd be fine so long as Matsumoto-sensei was with him. Hi, Kazuma. You're here to tell me things. You're not here to take me away, but you're here to tell me that my father is working with the Imperialists. Oh, and also to tell the Shinsengumi to stop making fakes. Oh. As January ended, so did the freezing nights and mornings covered in sheets of snow. Oh, wait. No. Wait, hold up. No, go back. Rewind! As January ended, so did the freezing nights and mornings covered in sheets of snow. I thought it was a completely different scene. As a usual part of my daily routine, I was doing my sweeping and cleaning procedures when...
よ、掃除中か？ 寒いのにご苦労だな。手抜きしちまってもいいんだぜ。
It's alright. The weather's been warming up lately. Are you guys back from your rounds?
ああ、街でちょっとした噂を小耳に挟んでさ。
A rumor? I asked him to clarify, but Heisuke and Nagakura just look at each other awkwardly. They're acting weird. I wonder what's going on. Maybe it was a tough subject to discuss in front of me, but Nagakura cleared his throat and spoke.
坂本龍馬が今日に現れたらしいんだ。
Sakamoto-san? I had thought he was currently in Satsuma under the orders of Count Katsu.
なんでも船を使ってあちこちの藩と商売をしたり、外国から武器を買い入れたりしてるらしいんだが、薩摩や長州の奴らとも頻繁に連絡を取り合ってるって聞くぜ。
What? No. The Satsuma was one thing, but the Choyoshu were an enemy of the court, meaning not only were they enemies of the Shinsengumi, but also the emperor. Count Katsu, with whom Sakamoto-san is close, is supposedly a leader of the shogunate. So why would Sakamoto be associated with the Satsuma and the Choshu then?
お前の知り合いだし、あんまり悪く言いたくねえけど、坂本ってやつあっちについたりこっちについたりして本音が見えなくて信用できねえよな。
いや、ある意味わかりやすいだろう。金儲けさせてくれる相手は誰でも味方ってところじゃねえか。
I think the two... actually, most of the other warriors don't seem to think too highly of Sakamoto. Of course, it's not like I can blame them, but... It didn't make sense to me, though, that Sakamoto is as bad of a person as everyone seems to think. Just then...
雪村君、ここにいたのか。ちょっと一緒に来てくれるかい。
Inoue-san? What is going on?
なんでも坂本の行方が分かったらしい。
Oh, that's bad. Sakamoto-san's? Alright, I'll come with you immediately. Where are we going? Inoue had led me to the common room, and it looks like all of the other captains had already gathered.
仕事の途中で呼び出してしまってすまないな。そこに座ってくれ。
I nodded and sat where Kondo-san was pointing me. This seems very familiar.
で、一体何の用事なんだ。坂本の行方が分かったとか言ってたな。
ああ、なんでも今日に戻ってきてるらしい。あいつ一人だけじゃなく、薩摩や長州の舵取りをしてる奴らと一緒にな。
外様藩の中で一番力がある薩摩と長州征伐を控えてピリピリしている長州が怪しげな行動を見せてやがるか。ろくでもねえことを企んでるのは間違いなさそうだな。
何にせよ、俺たちの縄張りで好き勝手な真似をさせるわけにはいかねえだろう。さっさととっ捕まえようぜ。
いや、会津公は坂本には手を出すなと仰せだ。公のご意向を無視して勝手な行動を取るわけにはいかん。
俺たちがやらなくても伏見奉行所や見回り組の連中がすでに動いてるしな。
Is this happening now? No, it has to happen later, right?
なんだそりゃ。目の前で手柄をかっさらわれるのを指をくわえて見てろってのか。
彼らはおそらく坂本が山内公や松平春岳公、勝殿の後ろ盾を得ているのを知らんのだろう。
Shungaku Matsudaria, 16th generation feudal lord of Echizen Fukuin domain. His wisdom granted him the distinction of being one of the four Bakumatsu wise lords.
俺たちが坂本といざこざを起こしちまえば、土佐と会津の間でまた面倒な騒ぎが起こるかもしれね 合図もそれだけは避けてえと思ってるはずだ。
Ishikata-san's warnings reminded me of the Akebonote incident from 2 years ago. Back then, it caused a huge disruption between the Aizu and Tosa. Both domains had made their warriors commit seppuku to resolve the tensions. As for the Shinsengumi, I was sure that they wanted to avoid something like that happening to them too.
ひとまず奴らが坂本を捕まえる前に俺たちが奴を助け出して保護するってのが新選組の方針だ。そうすりゃ坂本に貸しも作れるし会津公の面目も立つ。交換条件として薩摩と長州が何を企んでやがるのかを坂本から聞き出せりゃ言うことはね
なるほど。そりゃ悪くねえ解決策だな。
ほんと悪知恵だけは働きますよね、土方さんって。
Ujikata seemed unfazed by Okita's snide comment, and he turned to face me rather than reply to Okita.
雪村、お前にも協力してもらうぞ。
Again? Me?
なあ、奴は俺たちが何を言ったところで信用しねえだろうが、お前の言うことなら耳を貸すかもしれね
え。Understood. I wasn't sure of the exact reasons that brought Sakamoto back to Kyo, but it's crucial that we don't let the Fushimi magistrate or the Mimawarigumi get to him. Even I knew that would be trouble. It wasn't as if we were the best of friends or something. But I remember the carefreeness of his words and dreams when talking about sailing the seas around the world on his black ship. Is this gonna be our ending? Sailing the seas. From this, I knew that Sakamoto-san was not a man who deserved to be captured and tortured.
よし、これから俺は会津藩の公用型に事情を説明してこよう。
Officials, the coordinator position for duties performed outside of the domain.
え。とりあえず今後どう動くかの割り振りを決めねえとな。豚書を空にするわけにはいかねえし。
僕は近藤さんについていきますよ。
おい、勝手に決めるんじゃねえ。こういう荒っぽい役目はお前が適任だろうが。
そんなこと言われても、僕あの坂本って人嫌いですし。
Is that really your opinion, Okita?
本人も分かってて恨みを買うようなことをしてるんでしょ。
I mean, Okita has a point. Sakamoto does have ways to push buttons, so.
わざわざ助けてあげる必要はないんじゃないですか。
あのな、俺だって別にあの男を助けてえわけじゃねえが、いろいろと事情ってもんが。
わかった。それじゃあ掃除は俺と一緒に行くことにしよう。
Just keep Okita away from the man that he probably would actually genuinely kill for a couple of hours and let him chill, alright?
たく、どこまで甘いんだよ。原田、それから島田、お前らは豚書で留守番しててくれ。俺たち全員が豚書を開けてると怪しむ奴らがいるからな。
ああ、分かってるぜ。
皆さん方くれぐれもお気をつけて。